The final Marvel Tokon beta has finally concluded, and let's just say I had a lot of fun with this build of the game this past weekend. There's a lot to talk about, and in today's video I will be going over my overall thoughts on this version of the game. So sit tight, and without further ado, if you guys are ready, let's go ahead and jump into the video. Now, how I will be going over this review for the beta, I will be going over a pros and cons list of what I liked and what I didn't enjoy when playing Marvel Tokon. Starting off with the pros list, number 1, I want to start talking about the UI and menus. This was the first time we can actually check how the overall menu would look for Marvel Tokon. And to be honest, I think it looks pretty cool. I really like how Arc System Works is fully going into a comic book style while also mixing in elements of what it seems to be a paper blueprint sketch, which gives it an interesting style. In some parts of the menu, it's a full-on comic book panel of characters from the game's roster, while in the main menu it highlights your full team and the color that represents your point character. I really enjoyed this aspect of the UI, and it makes me happy to see Arc System Works putting their all into creating a mixed aesthetic that makes the characters pop. It's even shown very well in the character select screen. It's simple, but it keeps the paper blueprint sketch while also bringing in effects to bring in the roster from a black and white outline into full color for this game's art style. Overall, I think Arc System Works nailed the aesthetic for this game, and it totally fits the vibe of Marvel and its characters. Next on the pro list is the in-game content and lobbies. Now, when it comes to playing this game genre, one of the most important things to get people who aren't familiar with fighting games is the offline content. In the Marvel Tokon beta, we finally got to see what types of modes we will have at release, and to the looks of it, it's looking pretty packed with a good amount of content to do. First, you have your normal episode mode, which is this game's story, and it highlights all 5 teams within the game. We already know the story will be around 10 hours long to play through, with a lot of comic book cutscenes as well as gameplay. In the open beta, only a few chapters of Spider-Man's team, the Amazing Guardians, were playable. And to be honest, I didn't try out the story mainly because I want to save it for full release, but from hearing from others, the story seems to have potential, so there's something to look forward to. The next couple of fun modes that weren't playable but were highlighted in the main menu were Arcadia Rumble and All-Star Arena. We haven't heard or seen either of these game modes in any trailer, nor do we have any idea of what they could be. But based on the pictures in the menu, Arcadia Rumble could be a Fall Guys-like mode similar to what ArcSys did for Grand Blue Versus, and the lobby avatars in the picture kinda supports that. For All-Star Arena, I wouldn't be shocked if this was your standard survivor mode for characters, since it does say challenge yourself in different courses and fight to survive at the bottom. Right now, we have to wait and see what these modes hold in the game's release, but from the brief description to me, it's giving off other modes that could be fun for the player. Now going on to the online lobby. I was very shocked to see Arc System Works expand the hub world for Marvel Tokon. The lobby size is probably 30 times larger than it was in the past betas. When you first enter the lobby, you have a total of 7 locations to explore, and every area is full with a lot of arcade cabinets from first to 2 to even rank and casual cabinets. The lobby system is really good for meeting new people and grinding out games with players of different levels around the world. Also, I forgot to mention, the game's lobby is full of a lot of references from different Marvel comics and relationships with characters. There are even lobby avatars of characters that haven't even been playable yet in Tokon, like Daredevil, Rogue, Gambit, and even Psylocke. Please, Arc System Works, give me Psylocke and Rogue in Tokon. My life will be yours. Anyway, I found it very cool to see Arc System Works improving the lobby system and adding hidden Easter eggs within the game. I do hope at some point we'll see more character references be updated in the lobby in the game's future. Now that I've talked about some features I liked in the beta, I can finally talk about the gameplay of Marvel Tokon. Starting with some things I liked. 1, I really enjoyed the game's pace and movement. I know many people didn't really like how the overall game felt. Some people said it felt slow and it's Guilty Gear Strive movement, but to me, I disagree. I think the flow of the game was fast. Just like I said in my last review for Tokon, the game's pace is more like Xrd, and running and air dashing felt like an old ArcSys game to me. I didn't feel any weights on my legs trying to maneuver around my opponent. It just felt good overall to move in my opinion. The second thing I enjoyed about the beta was that every character felt unique and it had a lot to explore. In the open beta, we had 16 playable characters, and the main characters I spent the most time with were Magic, Black Panther, Storm, Blade, and Green Goblin. When it came down to labbing situations or combos, there were always something new I was finding within the character's kit. It felt like there was no end to finding something new with these characters, and I personally love that factor of this game. It's been a very long time since I felt this way with a fighting game, and I think Arc System Works nailed it in the park with each character's kit in the game. Over the weekend, I think I spent the most time in training mode instead of playing online matches, mainly because I was having too much fun exploring what I can do with these characters. Even looking at other people's streams and different kinds of tech players are coming up with made me really excited to try other characters I never thought I would play, like Green Goblin. Green Goblin wasn't a character I thought I would play until I tried his glider, and I was able to come up with some fly and unfly combos and movement to become tricky and annoying to my opponent. Overall, after coming from the beta, it felt like there was a lot to explore, and it left me excited to see what the future holds for the game once we have more time with the system and its characters. The third thing I want to quickly talk about was the combo structure. I felt like the combos in this game have improved a lot since the past two betas. The combos in Tokon felt freeform, and I think the change to be able to call ground assist while being airborne was such a good change. Having the ability to chain a knockdown hit into a DP or other kinds of projectile assists to create re-jump routes into different setups or resets felt way better to do than doing the standard lariat assist from the past betas. This change gave the game more flexibilities for combos, so I'll 100% say combos were fun to do and are very creative in this game. The last pro on the list would be the creativity of setting up different kinds of pressure and mix. Now, I'll be 100% honest with you guys in this section of the video. At first, I was not a fan of how this game had too much protection on left-right mix. But over time, the community has found a way to create this by using hard tag on someone's knockdown and buffering a special before the active tag frame window. Now, I didn't get to fully try this as much on the last day of the beta since it was revealed a couple of hours before the beta ended, but from what I did try, this feels really good to do, and I see a lot of potential with this system. This part of the system slows down the game right before the opponent can do anything on Wake Up, and basically seeing this is giving me Yellow Roman Cancel vibes from Guilty Gear Xrd. I hope ArcSys doesn't patch this out because some of this does take execution and is creative for a game like this. Seeing people finding this changed my overall view of the game and left me excited to try more of this in the final version. I look forward to seeing what people come up using this skill here because I see this being the key to unlocking more crazy mix-ups in the game with other characters. Now that some of the pros are out the way, it's time we talk about what I didn't like and what the problems were in the beta for me. The first problem I had with Tokon was, of course, the PC port having issues. Over the past weekend, many players including myself had problems running the beta on PC. No matter how many times I restarted and set my PC settings to low, I still couldn't run the game without it slowing down in gameplay or in the menus. Now, I do have a decent PC with an Intel Core i9, a 4070 NVIDIA graphics card, and as well as 64 gigs of RAM, and I can run this game on ultra settings because in the in-game, the auto optimization set them to ultra, but the build is so poorly optimized that I had to switch from my PC to my PS5. Even with the shader warm-up setting, it didn't fix anything for the port, and to be honest, it made it worse. And not to mention, I couldn't even get it to run in OBS or record anything on my PC to get footage. I don't really know what's causing the issues for the port, but I really hope PlayStation and Arc System Works can find the problem and fix it soon before launch. Because right now, I'm in a state where I may have to refund my PC copy and to buy it on console, which I don't really want to, but I have to. The next problem in the beta was the online and crossplay. This part of the beta was the most frustrating time I've ever had with any fighting game beta. The online did not run well when playing against console to PC players. Most times I tried to play with my friends who were on PC, the rollback would spike from rollback frame 1 to 8 instantly, and the game became very unplayable. Most of my friends had to switch from PC to PS5 to play with me or to lab things. and I think that's just unacceptable. I understand this is a beta and this is what betas are for, but I don't think we should have gotten a crossplay beta this late before the game's release. This isn't even a PlayStation or ArcSys issue. Most fighting game devs have recently been running betas a week or two before release, and I don't think that's a great thing to do personally. Things do happen in betas, and we as players, we are here to test things out. But even a week or two to iron out problems in a game doesn't mean that they'll get fixed that easily. I feel like we should have gotten a beta for Tokon back in late May or at the start of the summer, and it would have given devs time to figure out the issues with the game's ports and iron out issues. I'm not gonna say that I'm not scared that some of this won't be fixed on launch. Part of me is just worried about online because, as I said earlier, if I and everyone else still having PC issues on release, this could force all of us to switch to console to play online tournaments or to stay on the sideline and wait for the devs to fix the game. Again, I'm not trying to be negative, I just care a lot about fighting games and good online, which is extremely important for all of us. Hopefully ArcSys will have time to fix the online before release, because right now it's looking pretty rough. The final issue that I had with the beta was the input system. I had a lot of trouble inputting certain specials like DP and supers. Sometimes in combos, when I input DP, I randomly get fireball or nothing at all. Sometimes when I even try to input for my assists, they won't come out, so I have to mash it to make it work. I think overall it's just really annoying to deal with. There's an alternative by using simple inputs, but the problem with that is that I would have to equip the quick skill button somewhere on my lever list, which turns the game into having way too many buttons to find a layout for, and I really don't want to deal with that. I'm really hoping the input system gets fixed because I really don't want to restructure my control scheme. But overall, those were my thoughts and my review on the final Marvel Tokon beta. I had a lot of fun with the game despite the issues. It's not perfect, but I see a lot of potential in Tokon. My takeaway from the beta as a whole is that it still needs a bit more work, but the vision is there. And I look forward to the final product and to seeing what Arc System Works cook up for the future of the game. Now we are at the part of the video where I ask, what are your thoughts? How did you feel about the Marvel Tokon beta, and are you excited for the final build of the game? Let me know in the comments. And yeah, that was all for today's video. If you want to see more fighting game content on this channel, please consider hitting that like button and subscribing as we on the road to 4K subs. It is your boy Edo. I'll see you guys next time. Take it easy, stay safe, love y'all, peace out.